Cleveland Speedway, Tennessee, as we look on the front straightaway at the leader of the race every lap so far, Freddy Smith from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the 00 car. Mark, let's take a quick look at the top 10 and see where we are in the race.
So Freddy Smith is your leader, followed by number 22, Stan Massey. Number 5, Ronnie Johnson in third. Dale McDowell, car number 17, running in fourth. The J1 car of John Jones is fifth, followed by Mark Miner, Scott Bloomquist, Clint Smith, and Rick Auckland.
And Freddy's going to accelerate right now as the green flag's out again, and we're back underway with the race. Again, almost picture perfect in turn 1 and 2, right down the same line on the back straightaway. It could be monotonous, except it's Freddy Smith and it's Tampa Racing Series, and anything still can happen in this race. Stan Massey continues to find a way to try to come back and chase him down, and so far, he is still staying with that high groove going through the turns. But in the back straightaway, he starts to drift down a little, stays high again at turn 4, as you saw him blasting by there. And then
we have a caution.
We have another caution.
I believe it's going to be for Mark Miner, whose car is peeling off on the left side. Car number 7, he's had numerous collisions tonight, and finally the left side of his car is peeling away. Trace, they're going to put Miner back in, it looks like in 7th place, behind Bloomquist, who will be in 6th. But Miner has pulled up for one more check from the Tampa officials.
Tampa Series racing just about to get underway, brought to you by Landrum Spring Service, covering the racing spring industry like no one else. American Motorsports for all your oval track, dirt, or asphalt racing needs. And Tampa Racing Series rocking and roaring to a track near you and smoking to the finish. Freddy Smith in turn 4, followed by 22 Stan Massey, number 5 Ronnie Johnson, number 17 Dale McDowell. Beautiful close-up look as they hit the accelerator for the fast start again, restarting here on lap 74 of the Tampa Race Series, race number 11. Quick speeds as they fly and fill up turn 4, going 2 and 3 wide again. The racetrack is staying very raceable, and that's part of the reason why we've seen the passing we've seen, and the move forward by Scott Bloomquist, as you see on the back straightaway, slipping inside of John Jones, but John Jones gave him just a little nudge there. Here they come, the front straightaway. There's Freddy Smith, Stan Massey, and Ronnie Johnson, all right before you quickly across the screen. Ronnie Johnson seems to be finding that groove again. He's finally starting to feel good in that car. He's changed 4 carburetors in the past 2 days to try to get the combination. But unfortunately, on the racetrack, we've got to stop and a crash in turn 3, it looks like. Mark Miner and Clint Smith have gotten together right there before you. And it looks like Clint Smith has got the left rear tire flat and maybe a little damage on that lower part of the left rear quarter panel. He's also got a piece sticking up there on the left front. Maybe enough damage to bring him out, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Mark Miner has front end damage. And another problem, and we just saw this, David Gibson's also messed up. Right front tire's flat. I don't see any front end damage to speak of, but he does have a cut down right front tire, Mark.
And Kenny Merchant back into the pits one more time. So the casualties are starting to mount up here. 24 laps from the finish. This Tampa race at Cleveland.
We had many green laps there for quite a while. It was going so smoothly. I didn't even want to say this, Mark, but I thought then this race could be the first race we watched this year run with no more than 2 cautions. But unfortunately, now they're beginning to stack up. The racetrack has stayed very fast, but it is also getting a little bit slick now as the tire rubber continues to get laid down, and the surface just simply gets a little more slippery and a lot more treacherous. We're about to return to green flag racing. This will be the beginning of lap 76. The Tampa Race Series is now down to 24 laps to finish the 100-lap feature here and maybe make history tonight as Freddy Smith leads the pack and again has led each lap so far. World 100 champion Freddy Smith, the 00 car, and again Stan Massey putting that high outside move, trying to come after him, but again still being pulled away from as Freddy heads to accelerate on the back straightaway. Inside, Ronnie Johnson on turn 4, now trying to make some moves on Stan, but Stan staying just about a half a car length to a car length ahead. Lots of tight racing on the inside. Ronnie Johnson, a favorite certainly in Cleveland, Tennessee, is finding the way shorter through the turns than Stan Massey because Massey stays on the high side.
And they both are going to have their hands full in a minute with Scott Bloomquist and Dale McDowell breathing down their necks.
But here again, setup seems to be somewhat equal between the the 5-car and the 22 car. But the speed at this point is going to be determined by which car is going to be able to stay on the racetrack and keep the most power. Scott Bloomquist next to former teammate Dale McDowell in the 17 car. He's continued to move up. Freddy Smith blasts by on the front Speedway. front straightaway shot there for you, ladies and gentlemen. I get excited when I see him go that fast, Mark. Again, each race car is set up to start to take over the track at a certain point in the racetrack. It's a guess when you start, but as you begin to emerge and move towards the top 5 and even towards the front, it may prove that your strategy was the correct one. 83 laps in the books. Here comes Ronnie Johnson blasting through the screen here. Scott Bloomquist trying to move down inside. Dale McDowell staying basically between them, but now falling behind Bloomquist on the outside in the back straightaway. Johnson's a little too high, it looks like, as Scott Bloomquist is coming back at him. Now they're going down to the turn.
Trouble out in turn 1.
Both of them headed into turn 1, but quickly we had a caution flag. Kenny Merchant and the number 29 car. C28 is Kenny Merchant.
I believe that's Gary McPherson.
Gary
McPherson, Georgia in the 29 car. And it's tough to get a number. That is, and then it's Kenny Merchant in the other 28 car.
That is Kenny Merchant.
Who's been in and out.
Another problem for him tonight. Racing has resumed. Scott Bloomquist is trying to chase down the leader, Freddy Smith, and making a heck of an effort, banging and bumping in between Ronnie Johnson there and Stan Massey, trying to make the two of them move out as they get into the final 15 laps of this race. Stan Massey still ahead of Scott, but it's going to get tougher and tougher to keep him there. Scott Bloomquist is now beginning to hook up and run like the champion that everyone expects to see on this racetrack. Scott Bloomquist, the 18 car, following Stan Massey. Now they're both beginning to run, along with Ronnie Johnson in the 5 car, pretty much in the same groove on the lower side of the racetrack. Stan Massey trying to bring it in as he comes in at the end of 88, and lap 89 is underway as Freddy Smith continues to lead. 89 laps so far. Freddy Smith looking absolutely stupendous. Beautiful race car, looking almost flawless in every single turn, almost to the point where some people would say, is there anything about that race car that's wrong tonight? And there is nothing so far. 10 laps to go. Freddy Smith on the back straightaway. Could this be the night that Freddy Smith takes home not only $10,000, but his first win in Cleveland, Tennessee? Scott Bloomquist is starting to put a press on here out of turn 4, trying to chase down Stan Massey, who you just saw run through turn 1, now 2, and there he stays right behind him. Scott Bloomquist is looking for a way to start to reel in on with 5 laps to go. The only challenge left really for anyone to see how it may change might be whether Scott Bloomquist can bring it into the second position, at least for this race. Stan Massey